Seven-dimensional space, the proton world. This is a space where the proton can be seen. The proton is one of the elementary particles forming the nucleus of the atoms. It has the positive electron. Its electricity is equal to the electron, but the mass is 836 times of that in the electron. In this space, the people can have the perspective as far as their eyesight can reach. It seems that the people are wearing the infrared glasses and can see what is behind a certain object. For instance, they can see the jewels and gold under the ground. They can see the people's inner organs. They can see the flowing water under the ground. In the three-dimensional world, the people can only see the branches, leaves, and fruits. However, the people in the proton world can see the worms climbing on the tree. The beauties in the eyes of the three-dimensional world are simply skeletons in the eyes of the people in the proton world. 八维空间一光子界 dimensional space world. It is the space where the rays are beyond the 400 to 700 millimeters wavelengths. The photon is the elementary particle of the light. It has certain energy, which changes to the wavelengths. The shorter the wavelength is, the more energy it has. Many lights are invisible to the human eyes. Only those who have certain level of energy can see them. In this space, the people can have the perspective farther than their eyesight range. They can see through the substances with high density, strength, and energy. The objects will not show up in their original forms. Instead, they will show up in the form of light in different colors. The substances with low density, strength, and energy are invisible, just like the molecule in the air. The worldly people busy in the world are just clusters of light-moving molecules. On the contrary, the self-improving people will emit the visible light with different colors based on the strength of their composure and psychokinesis. 九维空间一光速圈 nine-dimensional space, the light speed circle. The space where the light can reach within 1 second is called the light speed circle. The people in this space can have the remote viewing of things in the distance where the light will reach in 1 second. For instance, though the person is in Africa, he can clearly see his family members living in Asia. All the people living within the scope of 1 second light traveling can be seen by the people in the light speed circle. 十维空间超光速圈 10-dimensional space, the super light speed circle. The space where the light cannot reach within 1 second is called the light speed circle. The people in this circle can have the trans-space remote viewing. They can see all the scenes beyond the Milky Way system and the Rotary River system. In particular, the life situation of the celestial beings in the 1,000-year world and 10,000-year world. 十一维空间一分子界 11-dimensional space, the molecule world. It is a space where the thinking energy of the nature shown by the molecules can be seen. The molecule is the smallest particle that can regain the chemical attributes of the original substances and can exist independently. The people in this space can see the nature of each type of molecules. For instance, the blood of an average people in the eyes of the worldly people is seen by the people living in the molecule world as a fully grown person who has his look and personality. If there are 2 drops of blood with 1 drop belonging to a dog and the other to a cow, we ordinary people cannot tell which is dog and which is cow. However, the people living in the molecule world can judge them. They even know the form of the grass by seeing the grass seed. 十二维空间微观世界 12-dimensional space, the micro world. It is a space where people can ride a horse in the nanometer space. The tiny particle seen by an ordinary person in the microscope is a large universe system in the eyes of the people living in the micro world, which includes the sun, mountains, rivers, animals, plants, and the park residences for the people. They can build thousands of beautiful villages on a grain of sand. 十三维空间法界 13-dimensional space, the law world. It is a space where the people can see the energy which causes the matters to change. For instance, the energy that drives the combination of the sperm and egg which later grow into a perfect body. The people in the law world can only see the energy flow, the magnetic line of force, the rays of all kinds, and the waves of all kinds are energy flows. They know very clear which place has good or bad feng shui, and who has strong or weak life power. 十四维空间滞留信息间 10-dimensional space, the detention information space. It is the space where the information will stay without diffusion in a short time. Any motion of the matters will leave the information that will not disappear in a short time behind them. All the matters are just like the photographic films. able to record correctly what has happened around them. The detention information space refers to the space which is able to show what has happened. Some police dogs can trace the whereabouts of the people by following the smell they have left days or even months ago. The people with the Buddha eyes can, according to the detention information left by the object's movement, show what happened, for instance, 10 years ago. For example, the room has been the venue of the murdering cases, how it happened, and who the murderer was. 15维空间超世界 15-dimensional space, the supertime world. It is a space where the people can get rid of the time constraint, follow the time numerical axis, and see what will happen or what has happened in a certain place in the future or in the past. For instance, the scenes in the beginnings of universe origin, human origin, and life origin. The scenes where the dinosaurs were dominating the earth. The scenes of Adam and Eve living in the Eden. The scenes of the Great Flood in Noah's time. Or the life scenes when the earth is controlled by the biorobots in the future. 16维空间宏观世界 16-dimensional space, the macro world. The big universe is the macro world. For the people living in the macro world, the Earth universe where we are is just a particle, the solar system is simply a molecule, the sun is the nucleus, the Earth, the Mercury, the Mars, and other 6 planets are just the electrons revolving around the nucleus. 17维空间时间隧道 17-dimensional space, the time tunnel. The time network composed of the negative and positive time and dotted the universe space is called the time tunnel. The time tunnel runs through all tangible objects. Each celestial body has its own time tunnel, and each person has it too. Once entering the time tunnel, the time no longer goes ahead like the ticking clock. Instead, the time is fixed and static. It is not like the calendar watch showing the past and future. Instead, the time has become the numerical axis with the 2 ends extending limitlessly. You can choose to live on any point. For example, you can choose to live in the times of dinosaurs or live in the era when the current human order has been changed to experience the life at that time. 18-dimensional space, the space tunnel. The passage connecting the 36-dimensional spaces is called the space tunnel. For instance, after the flesh body dies in the mortal world, the spiritual body has to pass the space tunnel first before it enters the upper worlds, such as the 1,000-year world, or the lower world, such as the animal world. If the angels from the heaven world go to the mortal world for inspection, they have to pass the space tunnel before reaching the mortal world. All the materials in the space tunnel are the antimatters. All the antimatters in the space tunnel move at the rate of the negative universe speed. All the space tunnels pass by the continent for 3 realms lives to pass through in the Elysium world. That is to say, the continent for 3 realms lives to pass through is the hub of all the space tunnels. The above-mentioned 18-dimensional worlds all are related to the humans. They are the middle worlds of the life activities. When the human science reaches a certain level, they will have sufficient ability to enter either of the above spaces with the help of instruments. The following 18-dimensional worlds will be the spaces which can never be reached by science. The major target of Life Chanyuan is to guide the people to the higher spaces of life. So I will focus on describing and explaining the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world.